schools, especially public schools in and around the FCT or Nigeria generally, were not really engaging in sporting activities that much. In 2024, I went on to carry out a project to discover why. I discovered using the five whys technique that the boot that it requires, the footwear that it requires to play different sports is so expensive, especially for people within that secondary school age range. Almost nobody was manufacturing in Nigeria and allowed to ship it in. People's school fees were about 5,000 naira, 7,500 naira, and they could barely even afford to pay their school fees. How much more asking them to cough out 100,000 naira, 150,000 naira to buy footwear to play sports? The schools also were apprehensive because when the students play football or whatever sport it is with just their sandals without proper foot covering, they get injured and they have to go to the sick bay. We also had a health challenge and all of that. And so that was a real eureka moment for me. While going to some of these schools in FCT, in Niger, in Nasarawa, I discovered that there were pure water sachets littered almost everywhere. Hello, my name is Chima Enesokoli, and I'm the founder of Body Green Spark Initiative. My project for this incredible Peace for Creatives project is the Echo Kick, upcycled boots for interfaith peace. Over the while, I have noticed that sports development was dying in the secondary schools, especially after working on a project that interviewed the 94 set of the Super Eagles who went to the first ever World Cup. And one thing was recurring across all the players. They were all scouted from secondary schools. The Kanu anchors of this world, the Okocha of this world, all of them, they were scouted from secondary schools. And I noticed that schools, especially public schools in and around the FCT or Nigeria generally, were not really engaging in sporting activities that much. In 2024, I went on to carry out a project to discover why. I discovered using the five whys technique that the boot that it requires, the footwear that it requires to play different sports is so expensive, especially for people within that secondary school age range. Almost nobody was manufacturing in Nigeria and allowed to ship it in. People's school fees were about 5,000 naira, 7,500 naira, and they could barely even afford to pay their school fees. How much more asking them to cough out 100,000 naira, 150,000 naira to buy footwear to play sports? The schools also were apprehensive because when the students play football or whatever sport it is with just their sandals without proper foot covering, they get injured and they have to go to the sick bay. We also had a health challenge and all of that. And so that was a real eureka moment for me. While going to some of these schools in FCT, in Niger, in Nasarawa, I discovered that there were pure water sachets littered almost everywhere. And the environmentalist inside of me got a kick. And I began to ask myself, how do I really solve this particular problem? It took me a while, a lot of tinkering, a lot of prototyping until I finally got a football boot that worked. Early 2025, we debuted the Echo boots and we have tested it for over 12 months now. It is great. It is lovely. People have used it across the board. So what we did was that we got pure water sachets. We collected pure water sachets and we tried to make footwear from there. Currently, we've been able to divert over 200,000 pure water sachets. In fact, right now here in my house, pure water sachets have taken over my kitchen. This is a sack full of pure water sachets, and we still have hundreds more that will come in the course of this week. We haven't even really blown out a full program for this collection campaign. We just did with a few sports teams and we've been able to get over 200,000 pure water sachets. What we do is that we use the Ashoke technique and we turn them into a leather-like material like this, and then we use it to make footwear. Footwear like this. This is a running shoe that people can use to run. There are also football boots, and this is a palm slippers. There are also school sandals and the like that can be made from this. So over time, I began on Sunday evenings to play football in a community pitch somewhere in PW Kubwa, and what was supposed to just be a church team attracted a lot more people from different faiths, different denominations. And I saw it as a very important opportunity to mentor young people and young boys across the board. We've had people with different types of disability also that have come in and have joined us to either play or to watch. And it's just a safe, inclusive platform for young boys to actually grow and develop. at the top of what we are talking about and what we do every Sunday is after the game to talk about discipline and to talk about peace building. We teach tolerance, we ensure that foul words are not used, we disabuse them from bigotry. And even with the work that I began to do with Budget Climate Champions Fellowship, I've been able to talk about public service accountability and how the different people, how as they are young, they can engage with the government at different levels, how they can also follow up, get their PVCs, how they can track different things that are going on in their environment. And of course, climate action is at the core of what we do. So we have young boys using the boots. We have people across the board that are just interested. It has gathered a lot of crowd. We have people also who are not just playing football, older men who come around to watch, and also from time to time we give them time to talk to the young boys and to inspire them. The whole essence of this particular application is to ensure that we look beyond the conventional ways put to talk about climate action and to talk about peace, and begin to look at the creative and the sports industry, especially the sports industries. The World Cup is going on right now, and a lot of people are interested. It's a global melting point for people from different parts of the world. A lot of people are beginning to find out that we have a lot more in common than perhaps the news will make it feel. And so this project is basically to solve climate action and to look at peace, look at peace building. Football is a unifier, sports is a unifier. Everybody understands what goal is, regardless of what the climate is. You can see people hugging people that they've never known. When Nigeria plays a football match, you find people who were quarreling or who are fighting, who are from different parts of the country, that their tensions, you see them hugging each other and celebrating together. And so my goal is to leverage this power of sports to further really look at peace building and take it to the grassroots, beyond the fancy hotel rooms, beyond the nice conventional hotel centers. Can we go down to the grassroots, to community pitches, and really talk to people and tell them that there's more that unites us than there is that divides us, especially with Nigeria and our tribal and religious tensions. Sports is one very important thing that I have used, and I have seen it literally transform the lives of young people, to look at people who are from different faiths in a totally different way and get from some form of kinship and brotherhood. Thank you.